All right, today we're diving into something that sounds like it's straight out of a movie, but it's shockingly real. We're talking about a potential submarine cable apocalypse.
Okay, let me ask you something. Where does the internet really live? Seriously, what pops in your head? Is it Wi-Fi signals zipping through the air? Maybe you picture this big fluffy cloud up in the sky. Or I don't know, satellites beaming everything down from space?
Well, the thing is, that idea, it's pretty much an illusion. That wireless world you and I live in every day, that's just the final tiny step of a massive journey that crosses entire oceans.
So to really get a handle on the threat here, we've got to pull back the curtain on the internet's biggest secret. And trust me, it has nothing to do with clouds.
Get this, over 99%. Let that sink in. More than 99% of all international data. I'm talking your Zoom calls, your international bank transfers, your Netflix binges, literally everything. It doesn't travel through the air. It's all moving through a hidden, physical network.
Yeah, we all have this image in our heads, right? Data just flying around wirelessly through satellites and clouds. But the reality, the actual backbone of our entire global civilization, it's a bunch of cables. And a lot of them aren't much thicker than a garden hose, just lying there in the crushing dark, miles under the sea. People have called these things the fragile glass lifeline of our world. And it's true. Inside, you've got these hair-thin glass fibers, just zapping data at the speed of light to power our entire lives. And the scary part? As we're about to find out, they are so vulnerable.
Okay, so let's play this out. Let's imagine the absolute worst-case scenario, a coordinated, global attack. What happens when someone decides to cut that lifeline? Not just by accident, but on purpose.
And look, the key here isn't just one cable getting snagged by an anchor. No. We are talking about a deliberate, widespread attack. Dozens of cuts, happening all at once, targeting the biggest data highways between continents. The goal? Simple, to plunge us all into digital isolation.
The second those cuts are made, the world we know just starts to come apart at the seams. It begins as a digital problem, sure, but it bleeds into the real, physical world almost instantly.
First thing to go, within 60 seconds, the entire global financial system. It doesn't just crash, it vaporizes.
So why so fast? You've got to remember, our markets are basically run by computers, these high-frequency trading algorithms. They rely on connections between places like New York, London, and Tokyo that are measured in milliseconds. The second that connection dies, the algorithms freak out. They just panic sell everything. Trillions of dollars in trades get frozen halfway through. The whole world economy just stops, dead. It's a state some people call quantum uncertainty. Nobody knows the value of anything anymore.
Okay, move forward to the first hour. Now that feeling we all have of being constantly connected, that illusion completely shatters for everyone.
Now you might be thinking, wait, what about satellites? Aren't they the backup? Well, here's the thing. The total amount of data our entire satellite network can handle is just a tiny fraction of what these undersea cables carry. Trying to switch over to satellites, it would be like trying to drain the entire ocean with a single drinking straw. It's just not gonna work.
So what you get is a total communication breakdown. Your international calls, they just time out. Websites won't load. The global news feeds, they go black because all that live video is gone. Even governments lose their main data links. The satellites are immediately swamped with just the most critical military stuff. For the rest of us, the world just went silent.
Fast forward 24 hours. The problem isn't on a screen anymore. It's physical. It's right outside your front door. The basic systems that run our day-to-day lives, they start failing, one after another.
Think about it. Global supply chains, they rely on constant data. They just collapse. Giant container ships are suddenly sailing blind. All international flights are grounded. And money? The flow just stops. Your credit card won't work because it can't connect to the bank. The ATM is just a useless box. Pretty much everything about modern life, from shipping and shopping to even hospitals accessing records, just grinds to a complete halt.
So, the obvious question is, why can't we just fix it? And this right here is where you realize just how big of a disaster this is. The repair process isn't just hard, it's an absolute engineering nightmare. Okay, to fix one single cut, you need a special ship to find that break, which is maybe 2 miles deep in one of the harshest environments on the planet. Then, they have to somehow grab onto this little cable, haul it all the way up to the surface, and inside a super clean room on a rocking ship, A technician has to perfectly splice together glass fibers that are thinner than one of your hairs. It's incredible. So how many of these magic ships do we have? The ones that can actually do this work? A handful. That's it. For the entire planet. In a scenario like this one, those few ships would instantly become the most important pieces of equipment in the world.
That whole crazy process, that takes weeks for just one single cut. And that's when things are going well. But to repair dozens of them all at the same time, we are not talking about weeks or months anymore. We are talking about years. A full-blown, multi-year digital dark age.
So what are we supposed to take away from all this? I mean, this whole scenario is pretty chilling. It really all comes down to finally seeing this invisible lifeline that we all depend on.
Literally everything that makes our world modern, our entire economy, the fact that you can buy something made on the other side of the planet, even just calling your family overseas, all of it is held together by this system that's completely invisible. And we never, ever think about it. We just take it for granted.
So if you remember anything, remember this. 1, the internet is a physical thing. 2, it's way, way more fragile than any of us think. And 3, if it fails, it's not just an inconvenience, such as, oh, the Wi-Fi's out. It would be the collapse of society as we know it.
And that leaves us with one last, pretty sobering thought, right? Our entire world is basically held together by these tiny threads of glass lying on the ocean floor. So the real question is, what happens to all of us when they finally snap?